Hey guys, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather.
And I'm Levi.
And this is our last grocery haul for the $50 February challenge. We made it under budget, but barely, and we had been waiting the whole month to see if we could afford our favorite beverage, Pepsi. So I know Rich over at Old Sweets Farm, he was really sad about not getting his Pepsi this month. So hopefully Rich got his Pepsi or is getting his Pepsi real soon. As always, I wanted to share with you the deals that we got tonight. We came out really well again. They don't always have some of the things that we get on a week-by-week basis. One of the examples we'll talk about at the very end is the bulk Lavazza coffee. Coffee is a freebie in the $50 February challenge, so we haven't counted our coffee against our budget, but this is an amazing deal that I want to chat with you about after we talk about the things that we bought for the challenge. So being that it's the last week and I made a whole lot of bread the last couple weeks, I did go ahead and get a couple different bread items. They don't always have these really nice Pepperidge Farm bagels. When they do have them, they're only $1 a sleeve. And so usually when we see them at that price, we'll get a whole bunch of them and put them in the freezer. But we had to not do that this week because I needed to stay under budget. We only had $33 and I think 13 cents to spend, and we spent $29.69. So retail price, this all would have been $112.33.
Pepsi was $3.49 for the 12 pack, which is
that one.
What I remember sodas costing.
I know.
When we used to buy it, it has been a very long time since we've really purchased like boxes of soda. And at Kroger, it is $7.99 for that 12 pack of cans of Pepsi,
which we'd never justify regular price. A lot of the junk food that we get, we buy it because it's at such a good price. But like Levi said, $3.49, we would have thought that was close to normal because it's been 2.5 years at least since we've been to like a regular grocery store. We go to this discount Amish grocer every week, and about once a month, sometimes once every 3 weeks, we go to an Asian market. And the Asian market, they have their own local things. There's a lot of local vegetables there, and there's just a lot of stuff that you don't really see anyway, and so there's not really a lot of competition for price. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it is a high price at all. They usually have pretty good prices on things there, and maybe we'll do a haul of our Asian market one day. So we've seen these things for a little while over at the store. This is one thing I did not realize was so expensive. I could only find it online. These are the Love Good Fats keto bars. Our kids like to have a granola bar of sorts. A lot of times we buy Lara bars after their eggs. It's their reward for eating their eggs. We have eggs so often that we have to kind of bribe them to eat them. But we've got chickens and they're really great quality eggs. So when they finish their eggs, they can get a bar. These bars were 50 cents per box. So in total, we paid $2 for those 4 boxes of bars. There's 16 bars in total. Online, I could only find a 12-pack of these bars, but on the 12-pack, they did price per ounce, and so I added up the ounces of all of these. And if we had paid full price, these would have been $28.38. And like I said, we paid $2.
And Heather had already mentioned that we only paid 99 cents per package of the bagels. Those here locally at Publix are $5.97 each, which would have been $12 almost for the $2 that we paid for the bagels.
I noticed these Craze seeded crackers. The kids like to give themselves crackers with lunch. Oftentimes our kids make their own lunch, and this was a really great little crunchy option for them. I saw these at Thrive Market for $2.84 per package. We got a pack of 6 for $2.75 for the whole pack of 6. So it was cheaper than 1, and we got 6 packs. So really great deal.
And every now and again, the store we go to, they get some oddities, and one of those this week was these blood oranges, which we paid $1 a pound for. So it was $3.78. And at, you said Kroger?
Yeah, Kroger.
At Kroger, they're $2 a pound, so it would have been $7.56. And being from Florida, I like my citrus, so I'm pretty excited to have blood oranges.
We haven't purchased citrus this whole week. They have citrus at the store regularly, but usually, like, we buy it normally, but it's $4 for a smaller, maybe it's a 3-pound thing of clementines. And for this challenge, that was going to be kind of high dollar. So we haven't purchased oranges this whole time. My son Shika, our son Shika, said the other day, "Mommy, next time we go to the store, can we get oranges?" And I said, maybe in March we can get oranges. But we saw the deal today, so we were able to get Shika his oranges. He might be kind of shocked that they're red on the inside.
Good.
I also had somebody ask me last week if we really go through all this fruit in a week. We do. There are 3 apples left over from last week. Every time the kids wake up every morning, they get 1 piece of fruit to tide them over until mommy is awake and aware and ready to make breakfast. And usually they'll also have a second piece of fruit later on in the day. You take fruit with you to work sometimes. Yeah, and I'll have a banana here and there. Yeah, we go through all of that fruit. So we've had this cheese in the lineup before. These aged cheddars are $6 each at Kroger. We get them for 50 cents each at our local discount grocer. And they have this, some version of a smoked cheddar. They've had it for a while, and so we can get that pretty regularly. I did want to buy another block of the raw cheese, but they didn't have any more left. So that didn't last very long, and I don't know when we're going to be able to get that again. But it was super good. That was awesome. It was a great treat last week. What did you think of the challenge as a whole?
As a whole, it was good. It made me be more mindful of just bringing food from home, whether it be leftovers or canned pickled eggs or beef jerky or whatever.
You're good about leftovers too. Like, you're good about leftovers in general. Maybe less good about leftovers working with your brother now.
Yeah.
Because he's so used to stopping and getting stuff to eat.
There have been a number of times, though, this month that I've been out, and even if I did bring lunch, I'd think about, so even stopping at a gas station for a drink, whatever, and sticking to it, which is...
You were good, weren't you?
Which is good, because God knows I don't need more sugar than what I already get.
Well, we didn't this whole month,
Yeah,
and I know some people are going to talk about how much weight that they lost. I don't think we lost any weight. It's surprising because we do kind of, like, I think every week we'll get a Pepsi. Just about,
yeah.
Just about every week we'll get a Pepsi. About every 2 weeks we eat out. Sometimes a little bit more often than that, kind of depending. And we haven't done that at all this month. But we've had a lot of homemade sourdough bread. Having dairy at your fingertips, basically unlimited, doesn't really allow you to lose much weight at all.
Another thing that I've enjoyed about this challenge was just coming home at night and seeing what was being made for dinner, because there have been a few meals that were just things we haven't necessarily done before. Like, so the first night we did rehydrated tomatoes with squash and barbecue pulled boar on rice. I just had a thought of the rest of the month and, seeing what would happen. And then there was one night we did fajitas, and that was a good thing about the challenge, was just to clean out the pantry. We had a single pack of like dehydrated beans and rice. We have 4 kids, the 2 of us. A single pack is never going to do anything. So it kind of forced us to get that out of the pantry, and we just added it with more rice, and it worked. It worked very well.
Yeah,
so,
I was able to get a lot more creative, but you got excited about dinners. Did you get excited when you came home and I didn't know what to do, and so we had to make eggs? Because that happens. It happens regularly anyway. Sometimes when I make a video, I get so into the editing that before I know it, it's 5:15 and I don't have time to make dinner. But we always have our eggs. Eggs are the best homestead fast food, and with the dehydrated vegetables, being able to rehydrate those quickly and having a little bit of cheese to put on top, you have a meal really quickly. I've definitely made some things that I think I'm going to make again. That's for sure. Things that I probably wouldn't have tried to do, we did. So, as an example, the Pepperidge Farm stuff was out at our store tonight, and they did have hamburger buns there. And normally I'd get them. When I see them, I'll get hamburger buns, I'll get hot dog buns, I'll stick them in the freezer. Tonight I made burgers, but I also made the buns. I've never done that before. It took me all day. Now it wasn't me laboring all day, but I really had to brain, because breads need certain successions of rise times, and so if you don't plan well, like I fail to plan well a lot of the time, it doesn't happen. But I did get them made. They were very, very good, and I think I'll make them again. I probably won't do my own burger buns every time that we go to make burgers. I'm sure I'll take advantage of the deals and stick some burger buns in the freezer, because it makes sense in crazy summer days to just pull stuff out of the freezer like that. But it was a really fun experience, and it worked well, and it gave me some confidence, which is nice. So next year, do you think we'll participate in $50 February again?
$50 February, the way we did it, I think is attainable, doable. Mm-hmm. The way the rules are actually intended and written, no. No. It was less than a week before the challenge started when I realized what the actual rules were for $50 February. And I say rules loosely because there are actually a few families that are doing things the way that we're doing them. We altered the challenge. How it was written, it was intended to grow or barter for things throughout the year that you would use exclusively in February, and then you'd have $50 to spend on extras. But we were supposed to grow even like our herbs and things, and I don't do that. We love to cook. I like to cook when I have the headspace for it, and so there's a lot of different spices that I like to use, and I use them a lot, like garlic powder, onion powder, different herbs. I use a lot of spices when I cook, and I don't necessarily like to kind of waste the garden space with herbs and things when we have the really awesome resource of our discount grocer. We can get a big old thing of parsley for like $2. And so because I can buy those really readily, I like to use the garden space for things that I don't buy. And so I hadn't planned for that all year long. I had not planned for that. And so when the rules came out, I was like, well, that's not what I planned for. We didn't exactly stock up on anything. The only thing we stocked up on is coffee, which we're going to talk about in a second. So I think it was still a challenge to use what we had already and then only spend $37.50 at the grocery store. So I would do it again with our own twist. I don't think I would ever be willing to do it the way that it's written, because I don't think I want to sacrifice the garden space for things that just doesn't make sense for me to grow. So how many cases do they have left? About 25. 25
cases. So this is Lavazza coffee. We have shown this before, just not as part of $50 February. So it looks like on Amazon, you can get the 6-pack, this Lavazza coffee, for $30 with the free shipping if you have the Prime. These, what was it, $7.50 for the 6 of them? Yeah. So we got both these 2 packs for $15 tonight. And this wasn't part of our $50 February because we were allotted some freebies throughout the month, and coffee was one of them. Come here, Titus. Come here, Titus. Come here. Come here. Come on. Well, hello guys, and happy March. So the first part of this video was filmed a few days ago while we were still amidst the challenge, but today is March 1st and the $50 February challenge is over. I am kind of relieved. I can't say this was my favorite thing that I've ever done. It was hard. Even though we technically broke the rules, it was hard and constricting. I'm glad I did it, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure that I'll do it again. I've thought about doing some challenges with myself in the growing season of just eating what we've grown here. It's really easy to do when it's the growing season because there's an abundance of food. So I understand why it's done during the hardest time of the year, but like I said, it wasn't my favorite thing. So as you can see, our little bottle baby buckling feral is getting really big. I showed him at the beginning of the challenge when we first got him, and he's a big, lovable monster now. So the goatee girls are yelling at me, so I'll go over the food that we ate this week just to round out the challenge. So on the 22nd, we had a really great salad with one of those lettuce heads that we bought at the store. I do have some lettuce growing in the greenhouse right now, but they're really tiny itty bitty babies, and so we weren't able to use those. I used some sprouts that we did grow for this salad, and the pickled quail eggs were part of our pantry. On the 23rd, we had scrambled eggs with the addition of some of our dehydrated cherry tomatoes and frozen green peppers. So that's one thing that I think has really stuck with me from this past month, is that I do have the ability to add some of our garden veggies to really simple dishes like this and increase the nutrition. Don't eat my hair. So the next night, the 24th, is one of my favorite dinners that we had. I wanted to make burgers out of our venison, and I didn't have any buns at all, but I did have flour and eggs and the ingredients to make the buns. I've never done this before, but it was a really fun endeavor, and I will link the video that I used to make these hamburger buns in the description box below. It's by Joshua Weissman, and it was pretty simple, and don't they look good? And those little mini watermelon looking things, those are fermented cucamelons. I actually forgot that I had those in the back of my refrigerator, and that was a really nice acidic side to the burger. The next night, I made a pasta salad with some of our canned bruschetta from our tomatoes over the summer, and served that with a regular old grilled chicken breast. This was really delicious. And we had a little bit of pasta leftovers, so the next night we did have some leftovers. It wasn't enough pasta to really go around, so what I did was I actually took some of our frozen green tromboncino squash and sauteed that, added that into the pasta salad, and I actually was able to collect enough greens off of the brassicas that we planted in the garden recently to add in a really nice green pop to the salad. Titus is trying to knock you over. Oh my gosh, you guys are a lot. No! You're too much. You are too much. Good boy. And the next night we had quail. I haven't unearthed quail out of my freezer in a really long time. It's very easy to cook and really delicious. The whole bird basically tastes like the dark meat in chicken, really flavorful and super quick because the birds are really small. We served this with a side of mashed potatoes, which were out of a box, and these green beans were from our 2021 garden. And yesterday, we actually took lunch to my husband's grandfather. He does have a little bit of a limited diet, so stuff has to be soft and small for him. So we made a barbecue ham loaf. I like to make this in a pie plate, which is why it's kind of in the shape of a wedge. It's how we cut it out of the pie plate. Served it with some rice and some peas. None of this was really from our farm, except the barbecue sauce. We did make that with our tomatoes and our green peppers last season. So yesterday was the 28th, and we did, since we were out in town, we did go ahead and get pizza last night. So I guess we broke the rules on the last day of the challenge, but we realized we had enough at home. We could have just made eggs another day, but we decided since we're in town and we don't get to have pizza that often, we're not on that side of town that often, that we would just go ahead and break the challenge with some Papa John's, and it was delicious. Look at my rooster, he's so regal. Hello, sir. So a couple of our goatee girls are due to give birth this weekend. Today is Wednesday. Shveni is due on Saturday and Tempest is due on Sunday. I just checked my records and Shveni likes to give birth a couple days early. I notice her ligaments are softening and softening more and more every day. So we're gonna see some Shveni babies on the ground really soon. And if I can help it, I'm going to try and film the birth for you. So if you're not subscribed yet and you're interested in seeing something like that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's also a lot of other exciting things that happen this time of year. Because it's March, the good stuff is really only beginning.